Margaret Ann Windsor, and I wanted to, that's my real name, I wanted to do one more video today. I don't know how many more I'll make, but I'll say again, I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace and brought to Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a twin. Both twins were dead. They were killed by their mother. They were born out of wedlock, and it was a pigsty where I was put. And I grew up having to use the dead twin's name, Peggy Ann Dempsey, and I married a Childers. So I go by Childers now, even though my husband, as far as I know, or ex-husband's deceased. This has been an ongoing assault, civil rights, you name it, like every law in the book broken on a daily basis, and I can't get an attorney. It's happened in plain sight, with so many people knowing it. I even worked for the district attorney in Huntsville, Alabama. I've had antifreeze put in me that should have killed me. I've lived on the Appalachian Trail because my getting jobs, I was targeted. I couldn't get jobs, places to live. When I did, my illness was used against me. I'm allergic to chemicals. I have an immune disorder. Especially, I could live just fine, but it's when I'm enclosed in a small, like the room I'm in here, at a motel. Been here for 3 months, and it's toxic. And I put this all on other videos and on Facebook. By the way, my Facebook account was stolen, but I can still, as far as a few minutes ago, get into it and post. What I want to say on this one is, if you don't know the real background, like they delete and leave out, you wouldn't get the truth in this at all. I wrote a medical malpractice book, and it was on mind control back in 76 to 80, and I say that because this is just a part of it. I found out about my kidnapping in 83 and my real name and why all this is happening. Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, while I was doing the book, March the 6th of 78, and the guy that killed his attorney and shot him was programmed. And I was flown out to Flint's during a political campaign in 83 to replace the doctor, Congressman Larry McDonald, who the KAL had been shot down en route from Juneau, Alaska, to Seoul, South Korea, and everybody aboard went down, was killed. And I ran in that campaign. Here I've written about him and gotten the antifreeze put. It's an ongoing saga of hell with no law. The law enforcement's involved, so there's nowhere to go with it except here on YouTube and Facebook, social media, because Channel 7, the locals, the media, it's controlled by not just the locals, but I'm talking about ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox. Are controlled by the Rockefellers who kidnapped me, the Illuminati, Freemasons. What I wanted to get to was here, when I first came here, to get off the side of the road, really, and have a place to be. I finally got with no money, begging for a ticket in, I got a tent of sorts and sleeping bag of sorts. So just to have a place to be, I froze and starved up on the Appalachian Trail, up and down it for years. What I want to get to is then you enter the homeless assistance. So it put me living a night here in a shelter. You really learn. I was this bleeding heart. You learn how people treat you when you haven't committed a crime. They've been committed against me. You find out what it's like. You get another view of things, believe me. But anyway, I would go to the homeless assistance. And I'm going to skip to the last part here. When I last saw Ricardo was his name. And I'm going to tell you, because I've told this on other videos and all of it, about how this is done, because of who I am, and then me writing the book about mind control and the links to murders. But it's mostly because of who I am and who kidnapped me. But the way they've done it, law enforcement has gone in and got things on people owners of motels, business owners, plumbers, mechanics, um, maintenance guys, you name it. Or they get where the kids, someone's kids has broken the law, and in return for favors which are really killing me, assault, violation of any civil rights, they will drop the charges, etc., etc. So that's what's going on. This is what I just wanted to put on here. Ricardo was one of the homeless assistance guys. One of the last times I saw him, he and his wife or girlfriend, she works for well, rehab. I don't know what part. But anyway, I went out to their home to do laundry and to see their home. They live out not far from Rocky Mount. They got a piece of land that's secluded, nice. Their home is absolutely gorgeous, absolutely out of sight. Now then, he told me that he was up here from, I don't remember if it's Chile or Venezuela. I can't remember which one. But he went up against the government there, and he was in a prison of sorts. And he came here as a political prisoner of war. He came here from there. And so did he had sisters and siblings. Let's put it that way. And I'm just going to leave it at this. In exchange for what he did in reference to me, they let him stay in this country. He told me that he was in D.C. visiting his sister, I believe, and he got called off the street and taken into FBI headquarters. They took him back and showed him, evidently, whatever it was on. He told me it was on a book of sorts. Showed what all it had on him, and if he didn't comply with what they wanted, he would be sent back, and he said, and I would be shot the minute I got off the plane. So now then I want to go back. So this was, he complied with them. He had the option of saying yes or no and doing the right thing. No one in this has had a right to do this. They've destroyed my whole life, and I don't know how I'll die the same way I've lived, I guess. Because there's no law. This has been done in plain sight with Senator John Edwards, with Bob Goodlatte, who's over the Intelligence Committee chairs, and I think he's over Homeland Security now. I'm not sure one other big one. He used to be over the Agriculture, which entails the Rangers, Forest Rangers, that used to run me back and forth when I tried to live up there. My God, I'm one woman. They've beaten the hell out of me. They're bullies. I don't know a name that you can give them. But anyway, I wanted to say this. The homeless assistance, can you imagine? I'm the monarch, the legitimate heir to the British crown, and all the things done to me. And I'm riding around in a van that on the side of it says homeless assistance. They made me look like a bag lady, anything in the book that's derogatory. I've walked, I've cried, I've had everything in the book done to me and my sons. I don't know where they are. But I wanted to say that one of the guys, and I'm not going to mention him, that worked for TAP. Well, he worked for the homeless assistance. But you get into the federal, they can get to anybody, the law enforcement can, agencies doing this. Homeless assistance would bid on money and certain things to get federal help. And TAP, I forgot, Transitional Living Center, all this grew to be quite big. It involves donations, I guess, but mostly funded by the federal government. So, in return for getting bids, et cetera, you follow where I'm going with it. They did things to me. And, I like Dr. Phil. I do. I thought if there's an honest, good-hearted guy in this country, it's got to be Dr. Phil. But it just floored me the other day when he said he didn't believe in conspiracies. My God Almighty. It just is so hard to take. And then none of these doctors, psychiatrists, mental health professionals, they call themselves, have ever said anything about mind control.